Xbox Game Pass, we're going to be breaking down every single game available on the service. This is a lot of work, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. If you are grabbing Xbox Game Pass, consider using the affiliate link in the video description, as it does support the channel and all the work that I do here. Let's dive in. And let's start talking about the different games on Game Pass that you should check out from the entire library of games that are available. A quick mention that Ghostwire Tokyo will arrive on Xbox Game Pass on April 12th, whereas on April 18th, Minecraft Legends will arrive as well. Age of Empires 2, the all-time classic RTS game, a masterpiece in the genre, a pinnacle of that particular element of gaming. It's wonderful. It's excellent. They nailed this port. Prepare for Age of Empires 4 that's coming out later in the year. Age of Empires 2 is perfect. We have Alice Madness Returns, which is a really grim, dark 3D platforming game. It actually includes both Alice games within this one, so it's kind of like a double pack if you think about it. You got your Amnesia titles if you like some horror type things. Among Us, which is a fun party game where, people can die at any moment. As Dusk Falls, if you like the telltale, narrative-driven sort of things, this one's decent. A lot of branching storylines. Ark, open world, dino, and monstrous survival for you and pals and whatnot. Decent, so-so, kind of decent twin-stick cyberpunk shooter. Can never get the multiplayer working on that one, though. Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins, very similar titles in regards to being an expansive, large-scale Assassin's Creed RPG experience with, seemingly never-ending gameplay. We've got Back 4 Blood, basically Left 4 Dead 3 and everything but the name. You got your Banjo-Kazooie games, kind of classic 3D platforming. A lot of people like Batman Arkham Knight, a lot of action there. We've got your Battlefield, so story-wise and multiplayer, you could still play Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 is still healthy, and Battlefield 1 is still pretty good. Battlefield 5 online is getting a little sketchy. Battlefield Hardline, you can still occasionally find a match or two. 2042 is the most recent one, and they do keep updating it. I will mention that soonish we're going to be losing Battlefield 1943, Bad Company 1, and Bad Company 2. So if you do want to own these titles, I would highly recommend buying Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2 through Game Pass so you do get that deal on them so that you can play the single-player content going forward. 1943 is online only, so it'll just cease to exist. And the online is being removed from these two, and all three of these should be delisted from Game Pass in the near future. Battletoads, pretty good brawler. Some of the mini games, not the best. Beacon Pines is actually kind of an adorable little narrative-driven thing. Black is a pretty well-loved classic shooter game. Black Desert, MMORPG, pretty intense, pretty large. Lots of content's been added to that one over time. We've got Broken Age is actually a nice point-and-click adventure kind of game. Brew Legend is a nice, Jack Black is the main character. It's a comedic sort of, kind of almost adult-focused and oriented rock and roll strategy and combat brawling thing. Bugsnax, whoa, 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 it's Bugsnax, which is a great adventure title. A lot of fun catching Bugsnax. City Skylines Remastered. So you want to play Remastered because that's a new version of the game, but your saves don't carry over from City Skylines Xbox One Edition. Chorvis is supposed to be a pretty intense space-based game. Chivalry 2 is like Battlefield, but with knights. It's awesome. High recommend on that. Burnout Paradise, very well-loved open world, kind of smashing racing driving game. Conan Exiles is similar to Ark, but in the Conan universe. Crackdown 3, story-wise, so-so, not too bad. Worth going into if you want to go blow some stuff up and have some fun. Caution Quest's pretty cool kind of game. Should actually technically, I guess, be first party now, if you think about it. Contrast is sort of Bioshock-esque, but it's not quite like that. It's a very short, hour and a bit sort of story, like a really small, self-contained little thing. Pretty cool, interesting themes. Crimson Skies is a classic plane shooting fighting game, pretty great. Crusader Kings 3 is an incredible, in-depth, intense strategy game where you literally are medieval rulers. You get your Crises, but you're probably better off getting the remasters, honestly. Dante's Inferno is like a throwback God of War game, pretty well done, actually pretty good. Day of the Tentacle is one of an all-time classic adventure games, point and click. DayZ, open world zombie survival, where other people are your main threat. We've got Dead by Daylight, which is an asymmetrical multiplayer experience with a lot of horror IP, lots of fun to play. Dead Cells is a very good roguelike, side-scrolling, slashing, battling game. Very, very well done. Got your Dead Spaces. Obviously, Dead Space Remake is out there. It's not on Game Pass yet, so you might want to, I don't know, play that one, and then that one will come eventually, but there's 2, 3. And, yeah. Deathloop is one where I think if you play through it once, it's quite enjoyable. It's a shooter game with a bit of a layering of strategy to it in regards to figuring out how to break the loop. There's Deep Rock Galactic, dwarven cooperative mining and destruction in combat. Very fun game. Destroy All Humans remake, very, very good, fun adventure with crypto. You got your Dirts, which I believe eventually will be removed. I think something licensing-wise. Dirt 5 is an excellent arcade sort of focused racing game, and the Dirt Rally is intense rally to a high level. And then you got your Dishonored. So Dishonored 1, 2, excellent, excellent games. If you really like 2 and you can't get enough of it, Death of the Outsider is a fine standalone expansion. Dreamlight Valley is basically Animal Crossing with Disney characters. Very well done. Disneyland Adventures is perfect for the kids. They literally do mini games and explore Disneyland. You got your Dooms. So there's Classic Doom, Classic Doom 2, Classic Doom 64, Doom 3, which is an excellent horror title and it's very, very spooky. And then you got your Modern Dooms 2016 and Doom Eternal, which are very highly acclaimed, well loved. You got your Dragon Age games if you like intense role-playing, Origins 2 and Inquisition. We've got your Elder Scrolls titles. Oblivion is also here, but it's way down later on the list. But Skyrim, obviously an all-time, all-classic role-playing game. One of the most loved titles of all time. Modding, all that stuff. And Elder Scrolls Online takes that concept and makes it an MMORPG, and that is absolutely excellent. If you like Among Us, Evil is basically like a 3D medieval town take on that, so kind of fun deception and figuring out who's sus. The Evil Within games, excellent horror titles, very psychological horror, spooky, creepy, weird, great titles. If you like kind of escape room games, Escape Academy is kind of fun, especially in co-op. You got your Fables, all 3 of them are worth playing, quite honestly. I love all of them. And your Fallout, so Fallout 3 is a classic. New Vegas always seems to be the most well-loved. Fallout 4, I love a lot. I absolutely adore that title. Great modding, great expansion stuff. And Fallout 76, they've actually improved a lot. I would actually recommend giving it a go. It's basically Fallout, but like multiplayer and stuff, and they've actually done good work on it. Far Cry 5, open world shooting action. They just gave it a nice, big, current gen upgrade, so 4K 60. We've got a video for that on the channel. It's excellent. If you like Farming Simulator 22. Feeding Frenzies, eating the bigger fish to become larger and more powerful. Great little games. You got your FIFAs, so FIFA 22. I think the latest FIFA should be coming eventually. Fight Night Champion, classic boxing game. Very, very great. For Honor, if you like Knights kind of PvP. You got your Forzas, Horizon 4 and 5. Open world, great games. If you like Mexico, Horizon 5. If you like the UK, Horizon 4. Frostpunk is a city management game in the snow and stuff, pretty hardcore. Feel Full Throttle is another classic adventure point and click. You got your Gears of War titles, so Ultimate Edition 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you really like Cole and Baird, you do Judgment Story. And if you like XCOM turn-based combat, you go and play Gears Tactics, which is excellent. And if, Genesis Noir, really weird artistic game, kind of cool. GoldenEye 07, one of the most classic shooting games ever created. It's excellent. Golf with your friends, you like mini golf. The Grid games, Grid Legends is actually really, really good racing. I highly recommend playing it. Grim Fandango is another classic adventure point-and-click game, one of the greatest games ever created. Grounded, a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type open-world survival game for you and your pals. Really good. The Gunk is a fun little few-hour adventure with lots of blowing and sucking, and yeah, it's kind of a quirky little thing. We finally have a Guilty Gear title, so you might want to check that out and support it. It's a fighting game. We got your Halos. So Halo the Master Chief Collection is the most worth playing. That's Halo 1 to 4, Halo Reach, and Halo 3 ODST in one package. And then you can go for 5, and then you can download the Infinite Story, which is the most recent one. And if you like real-time strategy, I highly recommend Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. Very, very good games. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice sequels coming down the road. It's a great game. ASMR the video game, throw on some headphones, have a good time. Hello Neighbor, the kids always seem to really like that one, so it's sort of a puzzle type game. Hi-Fi Rush is an excellent brawling to the beat of music game. Very, very well done, highly acclaimed, well loved. High on Life, it's a shooter where your guns talk to you. It's a comedy. Hitman, so they've merged all of the Hitman three Hitman games together in one awesome, excellent package, all upgraded, all great, perfect game. Highly recommend it. Hot Wheels Unleashed is way better than it has any right being. It's a great racing game. Immortals Phoenix Rising, another open world Ubisoft game, but with like gods and a bit of a quirky attitude to it. Very, very well done. Injustice 2. If you like Mortal Kombat but you want DC characters, that's essentially what it is. I've heard great things about Inkulanati, but I haven't had time to play it yet. A strategy game with like ink-drawn things. Inside is a very good, deep, atmospheric platforming game. If you like Limbo, that's a good one. Insurgency Sandstorm, high recommend. It's a more tactical take on what feels like Call of Duty action, but a great game with lots of long-term support. Very, very well done. Just Cause 4, open world destruction and mayhem. Jurassic World Evolution 2, if you like park builders, but with dinosaurs. It Takes Two is a perfect co-op game. Like, you actually have to play it in co-op. You can't play it any other way. Very well done story, great characters, great gameplay mechanics. Cameo, really upgraded for the Xbox Series platform. Great game. Well, it's an interesting game. It's very weird. It's very different from Rare. Kind of worth checking out. Combo Breaker. Killer Instinct is a great first-party fighting title. I highly recommend playing it. It's excellent. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. All 9 Star Wars films put together in one massive game. It is excellent. I can't believe it's on Game Pass. Let's Build a Zoo is actually a really good Zoo Tycoon with it's like a messed up Zoo Tycoon. Life is Strange True Colors, it's a spin-off, standalone Life is Strange game. It's actually really, really good, and I do highly recommend that one. We're supposed to be losing The Long Dark, so if you want to get in there, get it and play it before it's gone. Canadian open world survival. Well, I don't know. It's basically open world. Lost in Random. If you like the Alice games, it's another similar sort of 3D platforming, but with a bit of a dice type mechanic to it. You got your Maddens. 23 just got added not too long ago. Maneater, Shark RPG, the video game. Pretty great. Avengers, they just did a final update to this one. If you just play the single player story content, it's actually really, really good. But yeah, the final update came, so all the superhero stuff's free. They've buffed all the characters. You can go and have some fun before this one's done. Mass Effects, play Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It's 1 to 3 upgraded and remastered. We've got Medieval Dynasty, if you want to do like a live-in / town building management game in medieval times, very good. Memoir Blue is leaving. Midnight Fight Express is like John Wick, the video game. Very, very good. Shadow of War is basically Assassin's Creed on steroids within the Lord of the Rings franchise. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Fly literally the entire world in Flight Sim. It's an incredible experience. It truly is. Merchant Blade's actually kind of cool. It's like a Tetris and turn-based sort of fighting thing. It's very weird to explain, but it makes sense when you play it. Obviously, Minecraft, all-time explorer survival play game. Minecraft's well loved. If you like Diablo or kind of like dungeon crawling, Minecraft Dungeons is perfect for that. You got your Mirror's Edges games, so if you like parkour, those ones are good to go. MLB The Show 22 is leaving soon because MLB The Show 23 is here. Monster Hunter Rise, you want to go hunt some monsters together, that one's a good one. We've got, if you like Dark Souls but want to play it in 2D, Moonscars, Mortal Kombat 11, finish him. Fighting game, very well loved. If you like Dark Souls, Mortal Shell's like a kind of a indie Dark Souls. Bannerlord 2, the story content's pretty good. The multiplayer is really dead, but the story content you can really, well, it's not really story content. You kind of make your character and you build an empire and whatnot. It's a lot of people really love that one. For the kids, My Friend Peppa Pig. My Time at Portia is kind of like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing like. Naraka Blade Point is a battle royale with like melee stuff. We've got Need for Speed Heat is pretty good. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is pretty well loved by everybody. Neon Abyss is a pretty good roguelike shooter side-scrolling thing. You got your NHLs. I think NHL 23 should be here in a couple months. It should be there soon. The Ni no Kuni games, very well loved JRPGs. We just got the second one. Definitely recommend this franchise. Got your Ninja Gaidens if you like hardcore samurai stuff. No Man's Sky, endless exploration in space. There's Oblivion. So if you like Skyrim, it's a very high fantasy role-playing game. I still think this one's really good, and it's all upgraded and everything for the series platforms. The Outer Worlds, I love it. It's like Fallout in space. There is now a Spacer's Choice remastered version that's not included on Game Pass due to publishing and licensing stuff, but yeah, The Outer Worlds is still really good. You got your Ori and the Blind Forest and the Will of the Wisps, a really hardcore set of platforming games, but with really emotional story stuff. We got Outriders, so if you kind of it's like Gears of War meets Destiny. I actually really like this one. I think it's really fun, and it's a good little co-op thing. Overcooked 2, great cooperative action where you're cooking in the kitchen. Pac-Man Museum, if you like Pac-Man games, there's a lot of Pac-Man there. Got your Paw Patrol for the kiddos. Pentiment is an incredible 20-plus hour story that takes place over decades. High recommend. Pentiment is an excellent game. Very, very good. It's for a particular type of audience. It won't be for everyone, but it's so good. This classic role-playing at its finest. Perfect Darks. Get ready for the new one. Perfect Dark 1 is literally a perfect shooter thing in the vein of 007. Got your Personas 3, 4, and 5. They're all very good masterpieces of their time. 5 is a massive, super well-loved, high-acclaim game. 4 is very similar to that. I would say if you like 5, go back and play 4. 3 is a little harder to get into, but 4 is really, really good. 5 is really, really good too. We've got Pillars of Eternity. So this is a more of a classic role-playing thing. If you are excited about Avowed, which is coming out down the road, this is the same universe. A Plague Tale Requiem, which is the sequel to A Plague Tale. Incredible journey. Missy and Hugo fighting against the rats and everything like that. The rats are crazy. Very, very good game. You got your Plants vs. Zombies. Battle for Neighborville's the latest one, but they're all pretty deadish, but Garden Warfare 2 still has a good support and population to it. It's basically Battlefield for kids, but with plants and stuff. Power Rangers is leaving. Power washing is delightfully calming, where you literally just wash stuff. Prey, very good psychological horror title. Proteus is if they released Doom today, that's kind of what it's like, but they didn't really ever get the multiplayer stuff going to my knowledge, which is weird. Rage, open world, punk-like shooting apocalyptic game. Now, Quantum Break is apparently leaving Game Pass, but we're not sure. There's a weird... We're not too sure what's happening with this one, so I don't know what the status is of it. But it is owned by Microsoft, so it's really weird. We don't know if it's a licensing issue, but play it before it's gone. It's really good. It's from Remedy. High recommend. Quake Remastered, a classic shooting game, very, very good. Psychonauts, you can just play Psychonauts 2. It's an excellent, incredible platforming game. Very well done. Great story, great characters. High recommend Psychonauts 2. And you don't need to have played the first one to play the second one. We've got Recore, which I think is a really good color shooter platforming game. The ending dungeon's a little bit of a pain, but I actually really like this one, and I wish they would have supported that further. Return to Monkey Island, kind of a new entry in a classic series. The Road 96 is kind of neat. It's a choose your own adventure sort of gameplay sort of thing. It's very interesting. RoboQuest is kind of a fun roguelike shooter thing with caverns and robots. We've got Rush is good for the kids, a bunch of mini games with Disney characters. Rise Son of Rome is an excellent, well, I don't know, it's a fun hack and slash brawling game that takes, several hours. It looks good still today. Serious Sam 4, if you like Serious Sam. Sea of Thieves, the ultimate pirate adventure, very good time. Score, now just kidding. Shadow Warrior 3 is actually kind of fun. Good little shooting. It's kind of like a indie Doom Eternal, essentially. And you got your Shadowruns, which are classic turn-based role-playing games. All three of them have standalone stories from each other. They're all very good. They're all very, very well done. Civilization 6, one more turn. And it never is just one more turn. Slime Rancher 2, adorable game where you farm slimes. You got your skates if you like skateboarding. The Sims 4, you get like an upgraded version because the main game is free to play. Signalis is kind of a vibin' old school throwback horror title. A lot of people like that one. Sniper Elite 5 is the most recent entry in a really good stealth/action series. I recommend. A lot of people like SnowRunner. If you want to drive cars in the snow and the dirt or whatever, I don't know. Somerville, so kind of limbo / inside-esque sort of thing. Jedi Fallen Order, get ready for the sequel that's coming out this month. That's a good sort of Dark Souls meets Star Wars. We've got the Battlefront. Battlefront 2 is still active for multiplayer. Fun shooter. It's like Battlefield, but, Star Wars. If you like flying, Star Wars Squadrons. Stardew Valley is a great successor to Harvest Moon. Very well loved. You got your State of Decays. Both worth playing on their own kind of accord, but State of Decay 2 is the most recent one. Zombie survival management games. Super Mega Baseball 3, pretty fun baseball action, pretty well done. Super Lucky's Tale, I think you're supposed to play new Super Lucky's Tale, which we might have missed, which is an adorable 3D platformer. Sunset Overdrive is a really fun, open world, hilarious, quirky, grind on rails, shoot, smash, blow things up. Very, very good game. Stranded Deep, not for everyone, kind of open ocean survival game, but it's very tedious. Stellaris is kind of like Civilization in space a little bit, but different. Shredder's Revenge is a perfect successor to Turtles in Time, a brawling Turtles game you can play alone or with others. It's so good. You like Telltale games? Tell Me Why is like a narrative-driven sort of, light input sort of game. Terraria, 2D Minecraft basically with bosses. Tetris Effect is a way better take on Tetris than it is any right being. It's really good. We've got Ghost Recon Wildlands, massive open world cooperative Ghost Recon action. If you like Rainbow Six Siege, there it is. Titanfall 2, very good shooter. The single player campaign still worth playing. Tinykin is like Pikmin. It's adorable. It's really good. It's really fun. Very, very interesting. This War of Mine, if you want to enjoy the hardcoreness of war. The Hunter is a great hunting game. Actually, like a phenomenal hunting experience. Would recommend that one. We've got 2 Point Campus is a fun campus management game where you run a school campus, and it's quirky and hilarious. Turbo Golf Racing, if you like Rocket League, it's a golfing equivalent to it. We've got Unpacking is a cool, chill puzzle game where you pack and unpack someone's life. Unravel 1 and 2, adorable but strangely hardcore platforming games. Then we've got Valheim, which is an open world survival Viking type thing. A lot of people really, really like that one. It's quite quirky and yet beautiful at the same time. Vampire Survivors, it's like a twin stick shooter with one stick and you just move around and it does all its stuff. Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise is the one to go for. You run a manage a garden. It's lovely. Your Walking Dead. So you want to do the Telltale series. It's a light input narrative-driven thing. We've got Season 1, Season 2. We've got Season 3, which is The New Frontier, and then the final season is Season 4. And if you really like it, you can do the Michonne miniseries. So these are all individual episodes of the Michonne ones. You got your Wasteland games. Wasteland 3 is an excellent turn-based game. Wasteland 1 is like really old-school tabletop, and Wasteland 2 is sort of a bridge between 3 and 1. Watch Dogs 2, FPS boosted. It's not as dark and booty as the first one, but it's an open-world hack and destroy it and cause chaos game. A Way Out is a really intensive, again, one of those you have to play in co-op only games where you break out of jail. Weird West is a really good throwback role-playing game with some quirky characters and weird moments. Wo Long, if you like Dark Souls, it's kind of along those lines. You got Wolfensteins. We've got so there's like a specific like ordering and stuff, but it's like basically this is one, this is a prequel to one, this is two, and then this is like a slight sequel to two. Actually, I don't mind Youngblood. I don't know why people dislike it so much. So those are your Wolfenstein games, great shooters. Wreckfest is great for like destruction-based car driving. And now the Yakuza. So you got Yakuza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, actually, you should start with Yakuza 0, which is a prequel. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like a Dragon is technically 7, but it's a bit of a spin-off, but actually is more 7 because Yakuza Like a Dragon 2, I think it's called, is actually going to take our main character from these ones and throw him into this or something. I don't know. I'm trying to keep up on it. Zombie Army 4 is really good. It's like Left 4 Dead, but it's a spin-off of the Sniper Elite series. And finally, Zoo Tycoon, the ultimate animal collection. It's a Zoo Tycoon. You're managing a zoo. Anyways, those are the Game Pass titles. We'll be back in a couple months to again do a look at what's changed, what's new, what you should be playing. Liking the video is fantastic. Subscribing is great as well. And if you did find this helpful, the affiliate link, if you're grabbing Game Pass, it's an easy way to support the channel. And till next time with new Game Pass titles, there was the listing.